Hello, everybody. Just Nuance here, and today we're going to be ranking every Kenny versus Spenny episode. First of all, I just want to say to those of you who don't know who I am, which I'm assuming is most of you, you're probably wondering why exactly I'm in your feed, and it's because you subscribed either to my ContraPoints compilation or to my Many Saints of New Work compilation. This video is not like either of those videos, and I do actually produce real videos on my channel, but I have almost no subscribers for those videos. And I don't think this is going to change that. I'm probably going to lose subscribers for this, but I really feel like making this type of video. I'm going to be ranking all the Kenny vs. Benny episodes, all 86 of them, and we're going to be doing the classic F through S rank. S is the all-time classic episodes. A are the great episodes, B are the good episodes, C are the meh episodes, D are the serviceable episodes, and F are just the pure garbage that you skip every time. I've watched Kenny vs. Benny through all of the seasons probably 3 or 4 times, but there are certainly better and worse episodes. And today I'm going to figure out my opinion on it. I'm going to be ranking all aspects of the episodes, mostly just in terms of my subjective enjoyment of them. And let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my choices. Alright, starting with the very first one, the pilot, Gain Weight. To me, this is an easy C-list episode. This is a pretty easy C-list episode because there's not a lot of great content. There's little cutesy things. Spenny goes on his little date. He throws up. The girl hits on him. Spenny, you actually see Spenny being evil in the end, which is a fun little twist. Spenny becomes the bad person. Spenny becomes the bad guy in this episode at the end because he has his friend choke Kenny, which is a very, very strange conclusion. It's very different from what we see later on. It's not nearly as polished as the rest of the episodes, but it's okay. It's more so interesting for historical reasons. Now we talk about the beauty pageant. Beauty pageant's another one of these episodes. I know Spamerica really likes it, but to me it's just very generic. It's okay. It's kind of a filler episode. It's decent, but I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of it. There are interesting moments. You get to see them cultivating themselves to be successful contestants, but ultimately, it's not an episode that I'm in a rush to rewatch. Minicomps, I would say, is I'm getting a lot of C-list already. Minicomps, I want to say is a C-list. I assure you, I do like the show. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with C-list. It's okay. Minicomps is a C-list episode, I'd say. It's a lot of just kind of short little events. They have their short little competitions. It's engaging. It ends in a kind of disappointing way, although I do enjoy Kenny going up to the top of the CN Tower while Spenny has to climb the stairs. All right, fashion designer. Fashion Designer is a better episode. It's very funny to see the two of them. This really shows the difference between them in terms of the season 1 episodes. This is one of the better season 1 episodes. It shows how they take on the problem, how they take on the challenge of the show so differently than one another. Kenny here does something completely different. He's like, okay, let's get hot models, let's get champagne. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to try and make clothes. I don't know how to do that. I'm just gonna go to a dollar store, find crazy stuff, slap it on some hot women, and it's gonna be zany and crazy, and that's how we're gonna make money. I mean, that's how we're gonna, well, A, how they're gonna make money, but also that's how they're gonna win the competition. Spenny tries to be authentic, he tries to be genuine, and he just completely fails. And that's a very interesting dynamic. Handcuffed. Handcuffed is another B episode. I enjoy it. It's a classic adventure. You see them struggling against each other. The one sour note, really, you get Wolfish, of course, but the one sour note, sorry, I'm just remembering the pug line about him. That money could have saved them. You killed my dogs. It's just a classic line. The ending is definitely a sour note. The ending is definitely a sour note. The idea that like Kenny winks into the camera is one of the cheapest victories, and it's a really cheap ending. Best concert. Good episode, actually. I enjoy it. I think it's a good episode. I think it's a good episode because once again it shows their two different personalities. You get to see Spenny in his element. He's a musician. He loves music. He does see himself as like he wants to be a rock guy. And so seeing him try and do that authentically is engaging. The conclusion is a bit disappointing because you don't get to see his presentation. You don't get to see his concert. And I want to see Spenny's concert. I think that'd be really fun to see him do that and see him in his element. Uh, Kenny does cheat in a very clever way, and his strategy in general, just having the kids involved, is also very good. All right, better parent, better, better parents. Better parent is the B episode. So it's a clever episode. Seeing them take care of the babies, watching Kenny torture his baby, and Spenny be cringe and ridiculous taking care of his, is pretty true. That's pretty solid. To see Spenny take care of his kid, and then Kenny at the end switches them. That's a pretty fun twist. And then Spenny loses it. That's pretty solid. I'm happy with that. All right, who do kids like more is an A-list episode. Kids like more is actually just a very fun episode. Once again, you get to see them take their different approaches, and it's such an extreme where Spenny is so cringe and so silly, but he is authentic. This is Spenny actually trying to be a good person, and he does do things like your uncle Erogenous is goofy. You actually get to see the child care worker. I forget his name, but he's very authentic and he really loves the kids, and I think that's great. You get the little kid who cries, who Spenny comforts, and then ultimately votes for Spenny. These are all great moments, and this whole episode of seeing them interact with the world is made even better when you're seeing them interact with kids. It's such a a contrast it's so fascinating for me. Strongest, actually, I just watched this episode with my brother, and he got it. He's a lot younger than me. He's like 15, and so he doesn't quite get a lot of the content. He gets a little bored, but he was able to stay engaged with Strongest. Strongest, yeah, whoops. Court Case is a great episode. Strongest is an okay episode. Fundamentally, it runs into an issue where it's not Kenny and Spenny competing. It's Kenny versus Kenny's, pardon me, Spenny versus Kenny's sister, and it's not the best episode. Obviously I love Miriam. She's a very fun character. You get to see her interact with Kenny, which is it's fun to see them together. She's the way a normal person would react. She's the way that Spenny should react. Kenny messes with her. They mess with each other, but she doesn't get upset. She doesn't react. She doesn't get super mad. She just calmly takes it and laughs it off. Court Case. Court Case is a good one. I think we're slowly, before I talk about Court Case, we're slowly starting to get a sense of what the rankings are. The S is for the truly classic. A are for the good episodes. Court Case. I, as a lawyer, really enjoy Court Case. It's a fun episode. But you get the episode, you get the wire, you get the besmirchment of Spenny's character, you get the legal arguments, you get Kenny in. I'm assuming it's arbitration. I'm assuming this isn't a real court case. I'm assuming it's A, not entirely fake, but also B, not actually a court case. So I'm assuming it's arbitration. It's some kind of arbitration agreement. Or maybe not mediation, but it's probably some type of arbitration. I should look into this actually, because you can find out that kind of information if I look up the woman's name who was judging the competition. Anyways, I enjoyed that episode a lot. I think it's very fun. Convincing Woman. Convincing Woman. I'm stuck between B. Yeah, you know what? It's a B. It's fun to see them, their different interpretations being a woman. It's fun seeing Kenny play like a bitchy woman. It's very silly. I think it's okay. I'm disappointed in the end because I feel like they're not really getting a judgment of the characters so much as who is portraying a woman in the best light, because they like Spenny because Spenny's playing a specific type of woman. I think that it's not who's the most convincing woman, but who's playing the type of woman that they would be friends with or they would see as representative of women. I don't know that necessarily either one of them is playing a convincing woman because I don't know what that means, but it's an interesting episode. I enjoy it. It's Spenny's uncle coming and seeing him was very funny. Better actor. Give me a second here. Hold on. I'm loading it in my brain. I'm trying to remember this between this one and Play. I want to make sure I'm remembering which one's which. Okay, good. Better actor is actually a very good episode. Because Spenny, again, you get the contrast, but Spenny does a very good, frankly, monologue. It's very interesting. I enjoy it. He does actually go through a legitimate arc where he begins by trying to do some very melodramatic, generic, sort of over the top sort of monologue. And then he talks to the acting coach, and they're like, "What's going on in your life? What's real?" And he connects with it in a very meaningful way. And it's actually a beautiful piece. It's actually a very good. It's a very good monologue. He's doing a good job. Um, Kenny, of course, is mime. I personally really like mime. I think it's actually a cool art form, and so I found that fascinating. And Spenny, pardon me, Kenny cheated in an interesting way, being able to hide behind the mirror and have the guy step out, and the costumes kind of look the same. Pardon me, they're the same costume, but the two guys look the same. Kenny and the professional mime. It's a very convincing piece. All right, lose weight. Lose weight is another classic episode. Lose maybe A. Lose weight is a classic episode. It's the first one, at least the first one typically listed. Hmm, him haw. Lose weight goes into A, I guess. I enjoy it. I always watch it. I'm always excited to watch it again. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna leave it there for now. I'm just gonna leave it in A just in case. Um, I think this is a compelling one. It really gives it. This is truly the pilot because it actually this is truly the pilot episode. This introduces you to the concept of the show. Kenny cheats. Spenny plays it straight. Kenny has actual. Spenny works hard, but Kenny actually has clever ideas. He realizes that it's 3 days. You're not going to lose any meaningful weight in the gym. The way you have to do it is you have to trim your hair and cut your nails and so on and so forth. Male stripper. Male stripper. Male stripper is also an A-list episode. I really enjoy Male Stripper because you get to see them contrasting, and you get the novelty. The little novel gimmick is that Kenny's not going to try and win this episode. He wins by not trying, and that's fascinating. It's very interesting to see it succeed. The ending is stupid because the idea that Spenny wins, even though he forfeited, is ridiculous. But I guess narratively that is interesting because even though Kenny wins by not winning, but then he has to humiliation. I think that's okay. I mean, eh. The episode is good on its own. Survive in the Woods. Survive in the Woods is a C-list episode. I really hate this episode. Actually, D-list. I think it's the first D-list. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. It's significant, but it's not good. In terms of enjoyment, it is a D-list episode. It's a D-list episode because there's no real competition. They get into the woods, they complain a bit, Kenny makes fire, and then they fight with each other, and then they end up physically fighting with each other at the end. Verbally, they argue, and then it gets physical. And it's really just a miserable, uncomfortable experience. You're just watching these two people fight with each other and be mean to each other in a really non-entertaining way. It's pretty miserable. And then there's the humiliation is fun though. I like the humiliation. Having them make out with each other is very fun. Figure skater. Figure skater is again okay. It's fine. It's it's all right. Kenny comes up with his little trick. He makes Spenny think he injured himself. The injury looks very good, but there's not a whole lot there. Use their arms. This is probably where I'm going to start getting controversial. Use their arms is a C-list episode. I just didn't find it that fascinating. They have their little clever ideas, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And then they end up just fighting with each other. They end up just being mean to one another, and it's not really entertaining or interesting. Levitt Van. Levitt Van is B-list. I enjoy it. I enjoy it more than most people do. Some people consider it a boring episode, but seeing them interact with each other in the fan is fun for me because they're kind of in this contained space. They're conflicting with each other. It's a good episode. Seeing them interact with strangers and seeing them get stuck in the van, Kenny's plan failing, is it's very good. It also, hit my van when when Kenny was in the back of the van, he had the the mini fridge, he had the little cooktop. He was playing he was playing space pinball. That was fun. All right, here we go. Better Boxer, A-list episode. Love Better Boxer. Better Boxer is a very good episode. Not that much happens. I know a lot of people would rather see them box, but Kenny luring Spenny to room, locking him in the room without toilet paper, which is very funny, putting him in the room, keeping him prisoner for a day and a half, followed by arguably the worst humiliation. That is the most brutal humiliation in the series, is pretty crazy. Like, it's the idea, like, I'm trying to think of what's worse. And like, you get cum in the face in Who Can Produce More Sperm. You get like a shot glass full of cum. I don't know. I'm a bi guy, so that doesn't really bother me. But I mean, it would. That specific context bothers me. Just strange, generic homeless man semen getting thrown in your face. It's pretty upsetting. But also, like, for them, it would probably be pretty brutal. That's pretty. You know what? Maybe that is the worst. In general, this is going to be a very, very radical take on my part, but I think getting piss and diarrhea thrown on your face and not being able to get in the shower for like 30 seconds is worse than a shot glass full of cum in the face, I think. Drink Beer, all-time classic. Drink Beer is one of the best episodes for sure. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. All-time classic. You get to see Spenny completely evolve and go crazy. Naked is... Is it A-list? Is it an A-list? I think it is. Seeing them interact with each other and discuss nudity, and then having the Leatherman come and rape Spenny is very funny. And the conclusions, very entertaining. Biggest balls, is Biggest Balls the right? Biggest Balls recently became a lot more depressing. It was an interesting episode, but it's become more problematic over time because Spenny admitted that the ending was fake. And is it F tier? No, it's still D tier. F tier is very, very severe. Because I don't necessarily skip it. I'm not super into it. It's one of the episodes I've watched less, but I don't skip it. Stay Awake. Stay Awake, all-time classic. Some people disagree with that, but as a concept show, this is actually very good. There's not really any cheating. They have fun, strategies, and it really gives you the sensation of staying awake. Old People, another all-time classic. Oh, hey guys, just to let you know, a fast deep scan is completed. That's good news. I was worried about that. I'm glad we figured that out. Stay Awake. Yeah, I always watch Stay Awake. Stay Awake's an episode. Every once in a while, I'll just be sitting around. I'll be doing nothing. I'll be like, oh, I'm tired. Let me watch a Kenny vs. Spenny episode. What's a good one? Stay Awake. Because it's very level. It's not crazy like Drink Beer, but it's a great episode. Dance. Dance is Dance is a very good episode. Dance is a very good episode. I'm gonna put it in A. It's a cooler episode than Live in a Van. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, you know what? I feel good about this decision. Dance is a fun episode. You have Spenny chasing around Kenny. You meet all of Kenny's family. And then there's the big twist at the end that he didn't have his shoes on. Talk. Talk is an okay episode. C-list. It's just okay. Broadway Donnie Rose is involved. He's very in this episode. It's kind of okay. There's like funny jokes, Kenny typing the stuff into the keyboard, his relationship with Bianca. The whole episode is pretty good. It's okay, but it doesn't really stand out to me as a great. Funnier is surprisingly just a mid episode. The initial shock of convincing him he has AIDS is pretty good, but once you see it once, it doesn't really land. And on rewatch, it doesn't really work as well. It's kind of like, yeah, that's okay. The prank kind of just gets old with time. Maybe it's just because. Anyways, I don't know what it's just because. I was gonna say it's just because you see that kind of content, but you still don't see that kind of content. Kiss is okay. Yeah, it's not a skip, but it's just fine, I guess. Kenny does some interesting stuff. The Spenny relationship storyline is a little bit interesting, but it's just not that great on rewatch. I don't know, it just doesn't land as well. Rat Race. Rat Race is a C, I would get, maybe. You know what? It's a B. I enjoy Rat Race. I think it's a fun episode. You get the terrorist stuff, you get the capybara. It's a fun little sequence. Bibles. Another B-list episode. Most of them are going to be B-lists. Bibles is a B-list episode, pretty solidly. You get the twist at the end, but there's not a lot of great content in between. You know, you see Spenny reveals pretty quickly the trap he's laying. Spenny does exactly what you would imagine he would do in that circumstance, and you get to laugh at him and enjoy. You get to enjoy him being like an arrogant douchebag for a little bit, and then you get some, decent footage of him in LA. Mean is another. We go with A. Spenny's solution to this, to just taking the drugs, is very, very clever. Plus, the illegal humiliation's fun. I enjoy it. Good episode. Journalist. Journalist is C. C. It's fun to see Spenny going around trying to, like, be a bad person, bothering people, and, like, trying to go into the sewers. That was a fun moment. You get Kenny trying to create a little article, but, ultimately giving it to lust. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it. All right, first F up tier. Rapper. Probably the worst episode of Kenny vs. Spenny, in all seriousness. Rapper's just, it's very contrived. I don't know if it's necessarily fake or whatever, but it's very uninteresting and silly, and like the whole thing lacks a layer of believability or seriousness. Like, it's so silly and so stupid that it's hard to take seriously, and them rapping is both cringe. It's cringe to hear both of them laughing. Better Chef. All right, moving on. Better Chef. Better Chef is a classic episode. A solid B tier. It's not the greatest, but it's very fun. Spenny cheats. You see him trying to cheat. Kenny eats at, nice restaurants. Spenny cheats and then loses, and you get to see some good food. It's interesting, but it's not particularly unique. Yeah, it's a little bit unique, but it's not that unique. Laugh. Laugh is a classic episode. Ooh, yeah, especially with the ending. The ending is very, very funny. Who do gay guys like more? I really like Who do gay guys like more. I think it's an A-list episode. Who do gay guys like more is a classic episode. Watching Kenny and Spenny basically try and fuck this gay guy, just trying to hit on this gay guy, is very fun. He figures it out. He's one of the only people to ever figure out that he's being scammed. And so I anyways enjoy seeing him. I think this is actually a very compelling episode. He's the only person to figure out he's being scammed to just quit the show. They always try to manipulate the judges, and he's the first one to pick up on it. Octopus, obviously. Oh no, my octopus. No, definitely not F tier, opposite. S tier, Octopus, one of the best episodes ever. The LSD, seeing just how crazy Spenny acts. Watching Kenny try and babysit him, and of course there's the two humiliations. For those of you who don't know, the original humiliation in Octopus, the one that you see in the show is that Kenny has sushi on his ass, and then Spenny has to eat it off his ass with like not pubic hair, but butt hair on the sushi. That's funny. The original humiliation is that Spenny had to put a condom on his tongue and lick a cat's butthole, which is bestiality. You're not allowed to do that. It's very illegal. It's very illegal to do that. And so they just had to put it on the special features. 10 Mile Race. 10 Mile Race is okay. The problem is that it's... The first time I saw it, I was genuinely convinced it was real. Once you know what it is... I think that I was a little bit gullible. I saw it when I was very young. But I think I think as you get older, it's less good. It's still an interesting concept. I'm gonna go with that. It's still pretty good. Porno esque S tier episode. One of the funniest. Not enough love for the porno episode. That just you can see from the screenshot, it's a classic one. Spenny directing them is so good. The Kenny's bits are funny, but watching Spenny try and direct them is so crazy. It's so wild to see him do this. Just be like, okay, so you're gonna come whenever. You're just gonna come whenever. To the guy as he's having sex is hilarious. It's it's so funny to watch him try and direct them in this clearly sexual circumstance. I'm just trying to be professional. It's very funny. All right, what's next? Lift weight with genitals. Lift weight with genitals. Oh yeah, this is the one where Spenny quits. Yes. Yeah. You get all of the people on the show. You get like the freaks or whatever, however you want to phrase that. The weirdos of Toronto. You get Xanta. You get the little Russian guy. Lift weight with your genitals. It's good. It's pretty. I don't know, it's pretty good. I enjoy it, but it's not like amazing. Who is cooler? Who is cooler is another one of these episodes where the ending is very satisfying, but the lead up to it's a bit off. Where it's just like Kenny Spenny's convinced that Kenny is actually like doing heroin. It's just like, I don't know. That feels a bit, that feels a little much that he like believes he's doing heroin. He's like trying to help him. It's just like it's a little bit iffy. Seaman. Seaman is a great episode. Spenny having the potential to win, but not. Kenny doing the funny thing. Kenny having sex with the beef is very funny, but also like pretending, dressing up like an Arab gentleman and stealing the radiation equipment. I know I'm gonna put it B. It's okay. Haunted house. Uh, oops. Haunted house. It's a B list. I enjoy it. Like Kenny has a lot of funny characters. He says the F word 1,000 times. The ending is satisfying. Overall, it's a good episode. Bigger Fish, another B-list episode. I enjoy it, but it's not like amazing. Like it's a pretty clever plan by Kenny, and there are some funny lines. There's some clever stuff, but it's not that interesting. Yeah, let's do stand up first. Stand up, the longest, is an okay episode. It's decent. You got the most learned man, of course. You do have them mostly arguing about definition for most of the episode. Kenny's of course right about that. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it does have some funny moments. Imitate, obviously, the best episode of Kenny vs. Spenny. It's just the all-time classic. Homeless. I really love Homeless episode. The Homeless episode is great. It's an A-list episode. Uh, yeah. Homeless is an A-list episode. Yeah, there's so many funny lines and seeing Spenny get arrested. He punches Kenny from the cops, which is so stupid. That it's a good episode. Arm wrestling, B-list. Um, I enjoy the arm wrestling episode. It's a little bit silly because Spenny goes off on his own. Obviously, I don't think what we're seeing is what actually happened to an extent because Kenny had to have a whole plan. Like you don't just show up in Sault Ste. Marie, have a live event, and have a live event. You have to like have that planned out. You have to talk to the mayor. You have to do a whole thing. You can't just like instantly find somebody named Spencer Rice. That had to be all be coordinated. And so I wonder how much of Spenny's plan actually like Spenny going with the security guards and going to the trainer in the warehouse, how much that's actually real. Boner is fucking A-list. Maybe even S tier. I love Boner episode. uh is it S tier? I'm gonna go with A-list. It's a great episode. I love Hugo. I love the whole thing. It's very funny. Biggest fart, obviously S tier. it's just, it enjoys, it revels in just being so puerile and so stupid. It's so fun watching them fart. Viral video. Um, list. Seeing them do the different characters, it's a little vignette, but it's okay. I don't mind the viral videos. I think they're okay. Eat more meat. S tier. I love Eat More Meat. That's a great episode. Seeing them just go wild, seeing Kenny get sick, throw up, seeing them compete with each other in this way is just a very fun episode. You had to see Spenny go into Ronnie Aaron Hotz's clinic and eat the turkey. And then the old lady comes over and says, "Why are you eating that?" She says, "For a competition." And she says, "Nonsense. Nonsense." Stain's okay. Stain's pretty good. Let's put a name. I like Stain. It's a fun little competition. It's a little bit silly, but it's a decent episode. Sorry guys, I'm losing a bit of steam here. Sorry if my explanations are getting a bit shorter. Tide to Go, another great episode. I really enjoyed Tide to Go. Pretty straightforward why it's an A. I think it's just straight up a funny episode, and the ending is a good twist. More torture. Oh. Oh no. Where did more torture go? Where are you, more torture? I think it's a purple. Holy shit, where's more torture? Where's torture? Oh no. Hold on, guys. We're gonna find it. We're looking for it. Oh. Now I can never end the video because I can't find torture. Is it at the bottom? Where is it? Oh. I guess it's lost to the Matrix? I guess it's done? Okay. I guess we lost it. I guess we lost torture. That's fine. Okay. Alright, we lost torture, guys. Whatever. Torture's A-list, I guess. It's a very good episode. Alright, Sit on a Cow. Sit on a Cow is the C-list. Okay. Sit on a Cow. Maybe. It's okay. It's kind of a clever episode for what it was. It's limited, obviously. Oh my god, here's more torture. More torture. A-list episode. A-list, yeah, it's very funny. It's a good episode. And seeing the way, like, Kenny's idea is very clever, and seeing him do it is very funny. Alright. F tier. Skip singing instantly. Never question. Always skip singing. Brutal episode. I cannot listen to them sing for 22 minutes. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna have to move it. Another F tier episode for the guy's mom. It's just, it's a D-list. The implication of what Kenny did is a crime, and it is actually very unpleasant the more you think about it. The more you think about it and the more serious you take the show, the more fucked up what happens at the end is. The concept is also just very cringy and unpleasant. Obese, fun episode. Obese last episode. I really enjoy the Melvin character, Spenny suffering, and the ending is a cool little twist. Crime, again, A-list. I love the crime episode, watching Kenny commit like 1,000 crimes. And when lose is very fun, and seeing Spenny commit like 5 crimes, get drunk, and then just be not committing crimes, but just being unpleasant. Dump in your pants, C-list. It's okay. The concept's cool, but like, you know what? It's B-list. The concept is fun, and there are a lot of funny moments, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Bone More Women. Bone More Women is a fun little episode just because of the twist. I would put it as a C. The whole thing is kind of cringe. The only really redeeming quality, the whole thing is a bit stupid. The only really redeeming quality is, you know what, it's a B. because I'm thinking about it, the redeeming quality is the twist at the end. Very putting aside the implications, the transphobic implications, it was 2004. It's probably what, like 2008. To quote ContraPoints, woke trans people, she's trans, and trans people weren't woke about trans people in 2009. So it's to pretend as if anybody should be woke at that time period is silly. I was gonna say that the only redeeming quality is the end, but seeing Kenny hit on the big group of girls was very fun. With the blow up dolls tenderizing them is a great moment as well. And honestly, it is entertaining. Gorilla Suit. Not as big a fan of this. Again, it's been lost to the void. Oh, here we go. Gorilla Suit is just okay. Honestly, it's a fun concept, but it's a bit goofy. It doesn't really go anywhere. There's some clever stuff, shaving the suit and lighting the suit on fire. I honestly didn't really get that much entertainment out of it. Piss off more people. It's okay. It's fun to watch him piss off people, I guess, but it doesn't really get the juices going. It's just a decent episode. Touch the Ground. Touch the Ground's a great episode. I think Touch the Ground is actually a great episode to introduce people to the show because it is zany, it is crazy, but it's not too over the top. This and Old People are the best introductory episodes. Best Pro Wrestler, great episode. It's just so crazy. Yarp Yarp gets created. Yarp Yarp is so funny. And the twist at the end is very fun. Better Soldier, once again, has to be A-list. This is a quality show. There's a lot of A and B-list episodes. Soldier's just so much fun. Like, Kenny's plan is very clever and it works perfectly. And the humiliation is good as well. Sanist. It's interesting. You get to see you get some like weirdos in the show, and you get to have Spenny and Kenny be a little bit reflective and a little bit introspective, and that is interesting. Better June. Again, I enjoy this episode. I think it's pretty funny. I've rewatched it. When I first saw it, I really enjoyed it, but as time goes on, it's gone down a little bit, but it's still a fun episode. Disabled People, quality episode, very cringe, very fun to watch them interact with disabled people. Of course, one of the judges knew who they were and appreciated the strategy. The strategy was fun. It's a little bit hard to watch Kenny torturing these people to make them dislike Spenny. Weed, of course, is an all-time classic episode. Technically speaking, Kenny, Spenny, and the crew all have a great time, and they're friends. And seeing Kenny and Spenny interact with each other and enjoy each other's company is very fun to watch. 69. Again, is it S tier? Yeah. It's peak craziness of the show. It's season 6. It's getting wild. It's one of the craziest episodes. Hold on, I'm just looking for my favorite episode. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's still there. Squeeze Boobs, C. Just kind of okay. It's fine, I guess. It's just, it doesn't, the premise is interesting, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Chicken Coop. Chicken Coop's a decent episode. The twist is very clever at the end, but it's just kind of, it's good, but it's not, like, crazy. Same with Cockfight. Cockfight is a good episode. It's a B wherever it is. Wherever it is, it's a B-list episode. Basketball Coach. This is the most controversial opinion. I love Basketball Coach, and I think it is an all-time classic episode. It features the suitcase rant. It features my personal favorite humiliation, the fake pooing on the face from Kenny. That is a great one. He has the basketball team, Satan's rapists. You start with the basketball players versus the wheelchair guys, and then you include the kids, and then the kids play Kenny's friends, who are just like fat, like 40-year-old dads. That's fun. Black Guys. Black Guys is great. Honestly, Black Guys is a very fun episode. And part 1 is very good. It's very good to see it because Spenny is so cringe and so terrible. And watching him interact with Black Eyes, it's both meaningful and so funny. It's so funny to watch him, but it also is like genuinely nice. It's actually a really nice episode. It's a really nice episode to see Spenny trying to have like a real moment with these guys. And yeah, a lot of it is cringe, but we also get to see great moments like him coming out as the Klansman, earning money, earn money. Not a D-list episode. B. It's good. It doesn't. It's not the most interesting, but seeing them, the clever ways they try to make money is fun. And Kenny getting bit in the end is also cool. Oh, and Spenny winning. Spenny winning the horse race. It's a fun little twist. Black Eyes Part 2. S tier? I'm gonna go with S tier. Black Eyes Part 2 is actually a very fun episode because it's the culmination of the twist. It's the culmination of the twist in the sense that Kenny does the blackface maid thing in episode 1, I think. And Spenny makes fun of him. That's interesting. And then he has it come back and edits it in a way so he looks like he's berating the black maid. That is really the payoff. You also get the stand-up comedy fun, which is a really good scene. Seeing them have a good time, laugh, and, doing stand-up is very interesting. Have more fun, A-list. Spenny and Kenny torture each other. Really, Spenny is the one who saves this episode by having that dinner party scene, and Kenny comes in and ruins it, and then Spenny goes out to the, actually, it's a B-list episode. There are a lot, I'm thinking back now, there's a lot of downtime. Who can? D-list episode. Don't enjoy it. The actual competition itself is decent, but the long sequences of Kenny just talking to camera as his character is not really fun. Better commercial. C. It's a decent episode. Spenny cheats, obviously. He has his super cringe commercial. Kenny does like a bunch of characters. It's pretty fun. Play, A-list. Love play. Spenny coming to the realization, doing his terrible play, and realizing that like he's not a good actor is very fun. And you also get to see Kenny do a hilarious play. Stand on Island, solid B. It's not an amazing episode, but it's very fun and the twist is good. It's fun to watch them interact. Biggest Idiot. Oops. Bigger Idiot. A-list. This is another one. It's like 69, where it's not like necessarily the most interesting or clever episode, but it's just so crazy and so wild. It degenerates into complete nonsense so fast. Who does she like? D-list. Doesn't make any sense. Not a good episode. Seeing them interact with each other. They have like the weird fake date. Kenny goes on his date. And then you're watching, everything after that is acting. Everything after that is just like a character. Some guy we don't know interacts with the woman. Spenny does not get to go on the date with the woman. He dates an actor, essentially. He dates Kenny's friend who's playing the role of the woman. It's just, the competition doesn't happen, and it's just like, most of it's just completely pointless. It's like, it doesn't really work. Blindfold, good episode. The twist is a bit but the story itself is okay. I enjoy it. You get to watch basically Kenny torturing Spenny. I enjoy it. It's a fun episode. Finally, the Christmas special. God, this is going on too long. My throat's killing me. I'm dehydrated. Christmas special is nice. I like the Christmas special. A lot of it is cringe. A lot of it's stupid, but there are funny moments. You know what? It has to go in B, if only for the conclusion of the episode where they, the great finale of the series where they say, Kenny will forfeit the competition if Spenny does the humiliation. That's great. And also Melvin in the time warp. the Christmas Carol. The whole Christmas Carol thing is great. And having the fake Spenny have sex, the recreation of the Amsterdam scene, and having the fake Spenny sing the I Love You Kenny song is beautiful. And that's it. I don't know. I'm 99% sure about most of these. I'm sure if I thought about it long enough, I'd change my mind. But you let me know what you think. Where do you disagree? What do you agree with? Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm a genius. Let me know what you think. And until the next time, and until a year from now, when I make another video, I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.